Hello my friends, my name is Rich and welcome to Greatest Rock and Metal. Today is a special episode of Greatest Rock and Metal because it is going to be featuring KISS, but more specifically KISS in Japan. And the reason I'm doing this is because of this. A new book that has just been published about KISS and in Japan, and I thought this is a good opportunity to talk about my one and only experience of seeing KISS live in Japan. So we'll come on to that in a little while. First, if you enjoy this episode, please press the red button, subscribe to the channel so that you can see future episodes about KISS and also about other greatest rock and metal bands. Why should you listen to me talk about rock and metal? Well, because I've listened to thousands of albums, been to hundreds of gigs, and I thought, why not share some of those experiences with other rock and metal fans out there? It might help you to relive some of your memories, and also it might help you to create new ones as you discover new bands. So let's go on to KISS in Japan. My one and only visit to see KISS in Japan happened in 2019, last year, for their End of the Road tour. If you have a look here, we have behind me the big End of the Road Japan tour rug, banner, bedspread, whatever you want to call it, up to you. And I just hang it up here on an old bed actually. And you'll see around me various pieces of merchandise that are related to KISS in Japan. And I'm going to talk about some of those pieces today. But first, what about a little bit of history of KISS in Japan? Well, it started a little bit later than KISS themselves. The first KISS album was released in 1973, but it wasn't until 1975 that a KISS album was released in Japan. And that album was what by then was their third album, and that was Dressed to Kill. Now, one of the things that is special about album releases in Japan is that they always come with what we call these things here. These are known as obies, which give some description and some sales blurb, so to speak, about the album. And the actual translated, rather than Dressed to Kill, the translated title for KISS, for Dressed to Kill in Japan, that was shown on the obi, was KISS in Hell, or KISS Blown to Hell. And hell was a theme that ran through the obies that appeared on the early KISS albums. This is the first single that was released in Japan for the song Come On and Love Me. Come on and love me. And you'll see on the back there a very common thing with all the Japanese releases. You'll have the English lyrics and translated Japanese lyrics, which are often quite entertaining to read because the translation doesn't always work that well, as those of you who have used Google Translate will know very well that sometimes when you translate to other languages it doesn't always mean the same. And their first tour of Japan came in 1977, and you will see behind me here this amazing poster that was produced in Japan for the End of the Road tour, which lists all the dates that KISS have ever done in Japan, starting in 77 when they played Osaka, Kyoto, Nagoya, Fukuoka, I don't know if I've said that correctly, and then finished up with four gigs in Tokyo at the famous Budokan. Right up to the most recent dates, 2019, where they played 5 concerts, of which I went to 3, and we'll come on to that later. So, why does KISS and Japan have such a great history together? Well, many people believe it's because of what we call the kabuki style makeup, which is this white and black paint makeup. If you look at some of the illustrations I've got here, it shows the traditional Japanese singing and dancing kind of like plays that they used to do, and you can still obviously go and see the kabuki performances today, and it always has this black and white style makeup, and it's very similar to the makeup obviously that KISS adopted, and I think that alone started to cement a special relationship between Japan and KISS. So let's have a look at some of the things I have here in my own very small KISS Japan collection. Let's start with some of the albums. Now, I only have a very limited number of the Japanese albums, and the reason I have them is for very special reasons, in that they are very different from the normal versions of the album, so that's why I decided to get these variations. So the oldest one I have is the KISS Love Gun album, and the variation here as to why I like it so much is that this, very different from the original, is a gatefold version, and I love gatefold albums. And also, what you got was, that's actually the American order form that I've put in here. Somehow I can't remember how I've got it. I've ended up with an American order form, but I just stuck that in there for I know where it is. We have, of course, the famous Love Gun, which I haven't put together. I will keep like that. I mentioned before about the English and Japanese lyrics, so there we have an insert with the English and Japanese lyrics, and then inside there is this amazing poster. Okay, that was one of the goodies that was included for some copies, some of the people who bought the Love Gun album in Japan. So that's my first one. Then my next album I bought is this one. And you're looking at the cover of this one and you're thinking, okay, that was kind of, those of you who know about KISS, that was the elder era of KISS. And if you look, that is exactly what it is. That is the elder album, but because the Japanese market record company didn't think that was a very good album cover and wouldn't work in the record stores to attract the Japanese fans, they have put their own insert inside and created a new album cover for the elder. And I've always loved these elder pictures, so anything with those on I always enjoy. So got that one. Then we had KISS Killers. Now, nothing different about the album here, but what I liked about this was, again, I've been lucky enough to get one with one of the goodies, because a lot of these Japanese goodies that come with their albums are very, very hard to find, or if you can find them, they are very, very expensive. But this one was a reasonable price, and it includes a beautiful 6-page booklet. That's the front, and back of it, and then you open it up and you see some fantastic pictures of the members there. Jean appears here. I love this little booklet, and actually this has just been reissued in CD version in Japan. I haven't got it yet, but you can buy it now, and the CD version includes a mini version of this booklet as well, I believe. Next in my collection is Creatures of the Night. Now the only variation here which I liked was actually on the label itself, because again, as I've said to you before, I love this this photo shoot, and I love the label on this, featured on both sides for Creatures of the Night. Now the final official Japanese album that I have in my collection is this one. And again, some of you will be looking at this and thinking, what is this? You can probably just see here, it says Lick It Up. Again, for the Japanese market, the record company in Japan were like, no, that's not going to work for us. Our Japanese fans like to see Kiss in makeup, not without makeup, because that was obviously the first album that featured the no makeup. So there is this special insert that again has the English and Japanese lyrics, but it was done as a new album cover to attract the fans in the record stores to a new Kiss album. Now what I also have is this. Now this is not actually a Japanese release of Revenge. This was a limited edition blue. Let's have a look at it. Let's take it out. Have a look. It's a beauty, this one. Blue marble vinyl version of Revenge. And because whoever put this together knows that Kiss fans love the Japanese style, they actually put an obi on it. But like I said, this is not a Japanese release. I think, having a look on the back quickly, looks like it was done in America, but I'm not 100% sure on that. So, that's my vinyl collection for the Kiss in Japan. Next, I'm going to talk about the experience of my little Japanese tour following Kiss around last year on their end of the road tour in Japan. But before we do that, it's time to take a look at rock t-shirts by the sea. Hope you enjoyed that. So, December 2019, the Japanese leg of the end of the road tour. The excitement in Japan for this tour was immense. It was very difficult to get good tickets for this show unless you lived in Japan. One of the things, those of you who've had experience of trying to buy things in Japan, if you live outside of Japan, buy anything, it is not easy. And buying concert tickets is also very difficult. They always put the concert tickets on sale for Japanese people first, and the foreigners have to wait. If there's any left, okay, then you can get them. If not, well, tough luck. You're on to the secondary ticketing websites to try and hunt some down. They played a huge show in Tokyo. They played a huge show in Osaka. And then they played some smaller shows. I was lucky enough to get a ticket to see them in Tokyo and in Osaka, and also through a source that wasn't a ticketing website, I was able to go to the final show in Nagoya. Now that was really special, because the Nagoya show was only about a 7,000 capacity show, very intimate, and the ticket I was able to get was on the 7th row. So I was right up in there, whereas at the two big indoor stadium shows, I was a lot further back. But what was great about that is I had a real mix of the experience. At Tokyo, I was back and center. At Osaka, I was kind of back, but front back on one of the sides. And then in Nagoya, right up close and center. So I was able to experience the show in all its glory in different parts of the arenas, and I'm not going to go into the shows themselves. It's KISS. It was the standard end of the road set list, and it was brilliant. All three shows were brilliant. There were some changes that were a little bit unusual. First of all, for some reason at Osaka, Tommy didn't play his full guitar solo. I'm not sure why that was. There were some changes to the pyro as well. Japan has a lot tighter restrictions on the use of pyro. And certainly in Nagoya, because it was a much smaller venue, they didn't come down on the pods like they do at the normal shows. But it didn't matter. There was all this variety of experiences. It didn't feel like I was seeing the same thing over and over in a short space of time. So that was great. 3 very different shows. And also at the Tokyo and Osaka show, there was an appearance by the legendary, in Japan at least, drummer, pianist, musician extraordinaire Yoshiki, who is part of the band named X Japan, who are a huge rock band in Japan. And he appeared to play at the end of the show with KISS. Now, that in itself was very unusual. KISS do not have special guests on stage with them. So it was a very unique experience to see KISS with another rock star up there with them playing as part of their show. So again, another great thing to be able to witness that part of KISStory. But I have to say, despite all of that, what really made it for me was the experience of being in Japan and the fans. You will see now on screen some of the photos of the fans that I met. I met loads of them in KISS makeup as well. They really get into the show. They turn up to the venue hours before show time. They buy huge amounts of merchandise. Some of you KISS fans out there will already know about the legendary queue that was posted online for the Tokyo Dome show, of which I was part of that very early in the morning, which is also an unusual thing they seem to do in Japan. For their big shows, they start selling the merchandise very early in the morning because they know how popular it is. And they set up brilliant queuing systems and have people there to keep it all under control, and it is very, very well organized. And even being in that queue for a long time, it was part of the fun of meeting the fans. And those of them that could speak English, because I cannot speak Japanese, it was great to have good conversations with them. The merchandise. Well, you'll see here I have the special that you've just seen in T-shirts by the Sea. This was the Japanese tour only shirt that was created with the Destroyer cover and Mount Fuji there. I've mentioned the poster already. There was a bag here to put all your merchandise in. There was this very nice end of the road plushies set, which I thought was quite unique. I don't have any KISS plushies, so I thought that's a nice addition, souvenir to have in my collection. So, and there was a lot more oh, and obviously, as I mentioned before, there was this big bedspread type thing. I was also able to acquire, and again we won't talk about how, this poster that is advertising the Osaka gig. Beautiful poster. You couldn't actually buy that as a promotional poster. And was there anything else? Oh, then I've just got the tickets here. If you get to go to Japan for anything, it's great. And there's so much to see and to do in Japan. The gig were fantastic and that was part of it. But to actually tour around Japan as well is a unique experience. And one of the final things that I will mention is this. This is a famous photograph of KISS in the 70s going to a temple by the name of Ryozan Kannon. I don't know if I pronounced that correctly. And it was taken by a famous KISS photographer, Bob Gruen, and there's many photos that he took in Japan. That is one of my favorites. I love that, and as you'll see on screen, I also went to visit it myself. And there's many temples and other amazing things that you can see in Japan. So there you have it. That is an insight into my Japanese tour. Hope you enjoyed that. I always leave with some recommendations if you want to find out more about KISS in Japan. And what I'm going to mention here is, on the music side, hunt this down. This is KISS Alive 2, but the Lost KISS Alive 2. Which is a brilliant recording taken from the 1977 Japanese tour, which I believe may, the intention may have been that this be used for Alive 2, but it never was in the end, for whatever reason. So listen to some new music there, see if you can track that down if you don't already have it. And then I'm going to recommend a couple of Japanese related books. This one, you could call it a companion piece to another KISS book that's called Hottest Brand in the Land. This is a Japanese version of that, which includes merchandise over the years. One of the differences is that this also includes newer merchandise as well. Beautiful book. And if you get a chance to get a hold of that, I would do so. And finally, wait, As Hotter Than Hell Falls Down. And finally, I would recommend this, the new book that I mentioned at the beginning of the episode, KISS in Japan, the illustrated guide to KISS in Japan. There is the first edition here, and this is a newly remastered, remixed second edition that has been produced, so I would recommend that as well. So there you have it. That is KISS in Japan. Hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please press the red button to subscribe, and as always, remember, we rock.